Hi everyone, I'm 𝐿𝐵𝐻 from Beyond the Pixels, and I'm going to be playing the game while doing some kind of commentary to talk about some insights of the game and how we made it, why we made it, and all of that. So it should be a fun 20 minutes, half an hour. Alright, so let's go. Let's give it a shot. Let's play the game. Alright, stage select. So I'm going to probably go for story mode because I kind of want to talk about some of the narrative behind the game, but you can also just go for arcade mode, which is pure shmup bullet hell fest. But let's go some story mode. I'm going to play normal. Alright, and let's go stage 0. Alright, so you can see the loading screen, each of the loading screens have its own unique art to it. And I kind of like the idea of using the loading screen as a way to kind of tell a story. Also, it's just a great space that gives extra information about the game. So through each of the loading screen is going to show kind of like the journey our space cat and the robot has taken that you'll never see in the game, but it's kind of like backstory stuff. Alright. It's the onboarding process. It's actually probably been one of the hardest parts of making this game. Oops. Well, that was a bug you just saw live on the stream. Let's make a note to fix that. Alright, here we go. Pickups. So we try to keep everything as visual as possible, so with minimal text, only because that when you localize the different languages, it becomes a nightmare with so much text. Special moves, very important. Again, you know, the idea is you build up your power bar, which is called the catnip power bar, and then you just unleash them. And the idea is you time the way you time up your power bar with the alignment of this arrow. And of course, save the kittens. You always gotta have save the kittens. And anyone that knows my background in film will know Save the Kittens is actually a kind of like a nod to a famous book in filmmaking called Save the Cat. So there you go. That kind of gives you a little idea of my background in film. So Save the Cat is actually a well-known book for screenwriters. Alright, so this is the first level, and it's supposed to be quite easy, just to kind of get warmed up. So I kind of designed this to make it as spacious as possible, so it's not as bullet hell as the other levels would be. We also have built-in checkpoints. Originally, a checkpoint was something for me to know how far I am in the game in order when I'm designing the level to get an idea of like pacing and length. But then we realized very quickly that this would be very useful for players to know how far they are in the level, kind of like racing games, right? So there you go. So we've got checkpoints in there. Originally, these big giant pins emitting these kind of like crystals weren't really shootable, but we had loads of players come up to us during events that I was showcasing, and they were just I have to talk about the power-up moves. But anyway, let me finish what I was saying. So basically, everything is shootable, basically, and that kind of makes my life easy, but also it's really, really fun just to kind of just blast away. And I think that comes from the idea of the sort of game this is. This isn't a game where you spend hours and hours trying to figure out lore and stuff. This is a game you can just pick up, have an hour, even a couple of minutes if you want, of playtime and put it down, and come back to it tomorrow or something. And it's important that I want to make a game like that because we have a lot of these massive 20+ hour games that, you know, this makes something that was kind of reminiscent of the 90s, you know, like the games that you just buy a cartridge, blow the cartridge, stick it in the console and just play. I wanted to bring that back for today's gaming generation, as well as nostalgia as well. Okay, I'm going to time it, and boom. So you may notice now, I've kind of activate this power up quite a few times, and there's 𝐬𝐿𝐵𝐻, 𝐬𝐿𝐵𝐻, and for all of you hardcore arcade gamers out there, you'll recognise there's actually a homage to Street Fighter 2. So one of the things I want to do is kind of like merge the idea of Street Fighter 2 and shmups together and see what we get. And that's the idea, right? Yeah, this is a bonkers game. And why not put the most bonkers idea? So I thought, let's just have big giant cats doing big power-up moves that you trigger when your catnip bar fills up. Why not? Okay, let's have a look here. This is our first bit of cinematic. When Grumpy's cat name is going on. What the hell is that? I think this robot is kind of doing its own thing. My data is showing a ripple in the fabric of time and space. Yes, clearly I watch a lot of Star Trek. Holograms? Ow, I'm a little more concerned with the giant frickin' animals. We have to go through that structure to reach home. That's good enough reason to keep going. And that line is actually, it's quite a significant line to the idea of the game, because the idea of the game, you have to keep going forward, right? So that's quite a provocative line. Okay, fine, we'll figure this out later. Let's go. Alright, here goes. Alright, this is where it gets a bit gnarly now. Alright, so I'm going to attempt to do a commentary. We're in bullet hell mode. Alright, let's go. So, yes, there's a lot on screen, and one of the hardest things making this game was trying to balance everything. You know, the very first version of the game, it was literally unplayable because everything was just the same brightness, and we had a lot of feedback from players online, on Discord, emails, as well as like in person, kind of like giving us tips and saying, look man, you gotta like separate the background from the foreground. You can see now everything's nicely balanced. You know where everything's in the foreground, you know the background. You still see the background, but it's not distracting. Yeah, it's been so thank you to everyone in the community for like being so freaking generous with your time, writing really in-depth notes and stuff, and references to really cool *𝐬𝐝 games that I know of, but also some I didn't know of, which is cool. Just really helped like tighten and polish the game, which is phenomenal. And we're still polishing the game, so it's quite nice to be able to play this. And because the last time I did a stream like this was 3 months ago, so this is really nice to be able to stream with the latest update of the game. Alright, let's talk about the art of the game, because this game has quite a unique art style. First off, I got to work with probably some of the best artists I could get my hands on. One of them was 𝐾𝐭, who's this amazing art director based in Winnipeg, Canada, that I met last year. And he played a really janky version of this game. And he goes, look, I get what you're trying to do. I get that you're trying to make parodies. I get that you want to make this bonkers. Also know that, you know what you want in terms of making a fun game. And I love that. And he came on board just like that. And he did a couple of fan art first. But dude, once you see the fan art, you can't unsee it. I'm like, you have to come on board and be the art director of this game. Help me play this game. And he did, and the art direction he brought on, like the style of the cat, the overall, the menu interface, the color palettes and everything. That was 𝐾𝐭. It's like amazing collaboration with this guy. And every time I would like send him a Discord message or some like sketches and ideas, he'll just smash it all the time. He'd go, yes, on it. A man of very few words, but a lot of pixels. Alright, here we go. A talking panda riding a mech. Sure, can this day get weirder? Sure can. Suspect we're in your subconscious, Astro. Something happened when our ship was hit. So this is kind of what I wanted to do with the storyline, is bring a level of mystery to it. Because the problem I found was a lot of these *𝐬𝐝 games back in the day were all about the similar trope, which is big giant aliens are coming to invade our planet. We are part of a special force to destroy it. I thought I was getting really bored of that. I thought, let's have something that's a bit more, thought-provoking, bit more like, has some substance and layer to it. And I thought, let's just talk about mystery. I love mystery. I love Christopher Nolan films. Alright, let's have a look. As with all dreams, we have to keep moving forward to find a way out. Again, telling us to keep moving forward. So a lot of the dialogue, and by the way, I always write the first pass dialogue, but my partner in crime in writing the narrative is a guy called Nathan, who is phenomenal, based in New York, amazing writer, writes film, TV. And he would just come and just do a pass of all the script, and we got to collaborate on this really nicely. And he was all about really creating the chemistry between the characters, which you're going to see throughout the game. Alright, let's fight this little panda on the map. You see that? That was a reference to 𝐿 in Street Fighter. Yeah, you're hearing a lot of that meow, meow. I'm going to talk about that in a moment, about the audio. The whole story about that. But let's see if I can just whoop his ass. Oh, yeah, we've got flying unicorns. It's an amazing artist called 𝐵𝐶𝐻𝐵𝐿, who, that's her name, 𝐵𝐶𝐻𝐵𝐿, who did the unicorn. I remember when I gave her the brief, I was like, I want a unicorn, and the mane of the unicorn to be multicolored, kind of like Pride. She was like, what? Literally. And she drew it. Most of the artists are people like Ellie Wong, who worked on this as well with me. Most of the artists that worked on this project, most of the time, at first when they got a brief from me, they weren't sure if I was joking or like, you know, having a laugh. They're like, they would wait for a few more messages before they knew that was the actual brief. They're like, you serious? I'm like, yeah, let's do it, go bonkers. So yeah, there we go. Stage 1 complete. Alright, take a note of this high score, guys. I'm hoping that you guys can beat me. I mean, obviously I'll probably do better than that, but I am talking while playing, so that's my excuse. Here we go. There you go, so another awesome piece of art there showing the action. Alright, now we're in Belly of the Beast. Let's have a look. Each level has its own theme, its own music, its own ambiance, which I thought was very important for the replayability, but also give each level its kind of like its own unique identity, which includes visual, audio, and just tone in general. Let's say some kittens. Alright, let's talk about sound. So you may notice there's a lot of popping going on. Originally, the sound was just loads of explosions, lots of pew pew pew, explosions and stuff. And again, it's very hard to balance that, especially for a bullet hell game. And also, I just wanted to do something different, guys. I wanted to do something that kind of wasn't just trying to be another R-Type, another 𝐼𝐸, another 𝐸𝐵𝐸, and those games are phenomenal, by the way. But I wanted to make something that used the shmups mechanics, but do something fresh with it. And the only reference I could find that was trying to do something fresh was games like Cotton, of course, but also Parodius and Poppin' Twin B. So those kind of like my North Star. And Poppin' Twin B, the name, I thought, Poppin', ooh, that sounds kind of cool. What if we made all the sounds pop? Kind of like, you know, when you get those bubble wrap, and it feels nice. And now all of a sudden, shooting and destroying things feels nice to the ears. That's quite cool. So we have a lot of popping, and I got Roman Rapat from Venice Bleach to do the sound design and the music on this. And so Roman's based in Paris, and he's been on this project from day one. Like, even though it was just a sketch on a piece of paper, and I just like was talking to him. He's one of my coolest friends, by the way. So we talk a lot. And he was like, "I've got to do music for your game, dude." I'm like, "I don't really have the game yet." He goes, "Oh, just write some music anyway." He just wrote some music, and usually, Roman's worked on my movies before as well, so we have a good like back and forth. And usually he'll just do the music. I'm like, I love it. That was it. And he just totally got what I was going for. And he just created tons of music, and we just end up refining them, and then end up selecting music to go in the game eventually. And then early this year, I went to Paris, spent some time in the studio. We just like jammed and made some really cool tracks. And that's the tracks you're hearing now. Get to the end of this level. Okay, you see those bunnies? Yeah, getting close. Feels good, right? I can just do this all day long. Just pop, 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 pop. It's just worth it. Just hearing the pop alone. Great. And this is the thing. Yeah, this is a game as well. Like, if you just had a hard day's work, done a long shift or something, you want to come home, you want to just relax and escape, play this game. It's super easy to play, but also it's just relaxing. And it shouldn't be relaxing. It's an insane shmup, but for some reason it's a relaxing shmup. Never thought those words would go together. Alright, feel the burn. Al, why are you dreaming about a crazy bunny? I don't want to talk about it. Wow, our robot has issues. You have some serious cross wires and glitches going on. Yeah, kitty, I'm going to cook you so well in these flames. Who writes this stuff? What a strange thing to say. Al, I don't know if I want to fight through your psychological issues. Can we just... So what you find out in the game is, spoiler alert, that the cat and the robot are actually tethered through neurotechnology connected to their brains. That's why they can speak to each other's thoughts. I know, right? 𝐬𝐿 with such deep, profound science fiction. I can smell your hot and sweaty fur already. Yeah. Again, who writes this? Oh, please make it stop, Astro. Gladdy. Come on, bunny foo-foo. Yeah, I'm a little disclaimer here. All of the weird bunny foo-foo stuff, that's Nathan. And what I love about Nathan is I would write something and try to make it as funny as I can. But then he'll just top it by just making it absurd. And that's what I love about working with Nathan. He just takes it, he keeps the narrative, makes sure it's grammatically correct and everything. But he'll just once in a while put in little things like bunny foo-foo in there that just makes you giggle. I like that. That's the great thing about collaborating with people that just totally get the tone of the game and they bring stuff to the table. Let's see if we can do this. So with the flames in this kind of like factory kind of like setting, mechanical factory, that was kind of like me being inspired by the movie Terminator 2. So towards the end of the scene, they're in a factory, and there's all this fire everywhere. I just love that visual, the orange against the blue. So yeah, I kind of got inspired by Terminator 2 for this level. There's a lot of references I make through some of my movies that I love watching as growing up, some of the games I love playing when I was growing up. There's all of that. It's kind of like in this. Yeah, I have my playlist in a way of references. But kind of put your own twist to it, obviously. Alright, let's use the special move. Spin kick. Yeah. Alright, this music's a little bit more intense than the previous one. So maybe I'll retract the relaxing comment I made earlier. Come on. So interesting, you know, as a game developer, you make the game, and you think, yeah, because I made the game, it's so easy. I can just go through this easily, right? No, I find it challenging, and the fact that I'm finding it challenging, I love it. When I make something and I'm like challenged by it, that's when I know this is gonna work, you know, because I'm actually having fun playing the game while making it. It's the best of both worlds, right? So, I am almost done with this bunny. Come on. You got some power-ups. Yeah, you're down. You're going down. Power up. Look at that. Oh, that. Boss defeated. Woohoo! Perfect run. Love it. Alright. So I'm challenging you guys watching this. I want to see you guys get perfect runs. And then screenshot it. Put it on the Discord channel. Share it. At some point, we're going to be doing competitions on Discord. So definitely get practicing. Alright, stage 3. Yeah, we're doing pretty good so far. Good. Ah, I love this level. Okay. Whoa, is that a space elevator? Okay, so another movie reference that I love. So there's a movie called Ad Astra, starring Brad Pitt. And the very first sequence of the film, there's a space elevator scene. And I just love the whole idea of the space elevator, you know, connecting from Earth to, you know, above Earth into the stratosphere. I just love that, and I thought, oh man, one day I wish I get an opportunity to do something with space elevators in a movie or a game. And I thought, well, since we have to get Astro and the robot back home to Earth, why not go down? Which is what you do, right? When you travel, you're going down. What goes up must come down, right? Now, yes, I could just take the Earth, put it on the side, and keep it side-scrolling. But I want a bit of variety. And I also played this game called Metal Slug, and one of the levels you're going down into underwater. And I thought that was cool. Like, you can switch from side-scroll to going down, and it just, I mean, look. Some people have complained, saying this is a bit disorientating, but most people are like, this is cool. This is different. And I want this to be challenging. There's always going to be one level in the game you're like, God damn, this is so frustrating. This is that level. This also got my favourite music track for a moment on this, so yeah, here's my favourite level. But it's a nice feeling to be like in sort of like spinning in Gravity. And that's another reference as well to the movie Gravity as well. Yeah, that's where I got the idea of spinning as opposed to just going down. I like the idea of spinning. I remember that scene with Sandra Bullock. She's just spinning really fast. Obviously I couldn't make it fast here because that would be disorientating to play. Well, there was a version many moons ago where I was having it spinning really fast, but that proved to be motion sickness to most players, including me. But yeah, no, this is one of my favourite levels. The fact that we're switching it up, but also from a game design, game level perspective, it's not rinse and repeat. Every single level has to feel different, and this by far is the most different one because not just from a look point of view, but also from a layout point of view, from the NPCs, the way they're spawned, how I place the power-up pickups. All of that's got to take that in mind when you're designing a level that is going down as opposed to across. power up. We didn't know what. So 𝐬𝐿 and 𝐴𝐷A also did all of the animation for these power-up moves, and oh, bless him, poor guy. Yeah, do all those frames of just complete bonkerness. But he did it, and he just brought so much zaniness to the animation as well, which is very cool. I mean, I think the rule of this game when we're making this is literally how bonkers can we go? Penguins in space, cool, but how far can we go with it? Panda on a mech, nah, let's do better than that. Kittens stuck in a bubble, floating around, cool. Floating pigs, great. Like, if it doesn't make sense and it raises eyebrows, it's going in the game. That's essentially the rule. You know, before this game, I was actually the cinematics director on a game called Dune Awakening. Yeah, big contrast, right, guys? And that was, obviously, that had its own level of craziness in terms of story, but big departure, because obviously when you work on a game like Dune, it's much more, you stick to the law and set of rules and everything, whereas here the rules are make it more bonkers, and of course stick with the shmup rules as much as you can. There's mechanics and stuff, but just go bonkers with it. Ooh, that was cool. One kick wiped it all out. Love it. And we're going into the clouds, guys. There we go. We should be home now. Yay! Stage 3 complete. Wait, I've saved 8 kittens out of 1,000. No. That's, thank God for that. I was going to say 8 kittens I've saved, and the score is 1,600. Again, make note all these numbers here, because I want to see you guys beat my score and beat the number of kittens saved as well. We've actually hidden kittens in certain areas that are a little bit harder to get, so if you guys get that, you probably get extra points. The blue skies, the fluffy clouds. I feel like I'm in heaven. My program doesn't include concepts of the afterlife, but this is nice. So this is, again, I kind of want a feel-good moment, right? And once in a while, yes, the previous level, or the level before the previous one, you know, you're in a crazy bunny who wants to eat your sweaty fur. I know. But here, it's nice and chill. I call this the yoga moment. And breathe. And they're breathing. And they're breathing. And they're breathing. There we go. I like little things like that. There we go. This is not cool. So if you notice the background, there's some really cool clouds with faces on. And that's kind of like an idea I got from like Poppin' Twin B had that on a few of the levels. So 𝐿𝐵, who did a lot of art on this game, she was tasked with doing the clouds. And she did a phenomenal job making like different, look at it, it's a different face here. This one, the clouds winking in the background. And I think it's cool to have these little moments there where you can just appreciate the art. Because everything builds the vibe. It's a vibe, right, about this game. This whole game is about vibes. There's a crying raccoon, and that's from an awesome artist called Amy. In fact, there's a really good story about two artists, I think, Amy and Louise. Both these artists, I met them at a game event called London Games Festival. And they were playing the game, and then they showed me their portfolio, and they would say, hey, you know, we do pixel art, we do a lot of personal projects, here's some of our personal projects. And I'm like, wow, these are like right up my street for this game. Oh my God, where were you a year ago? And I didn't really have time to commission new artists because, you know, our time schedule for art had been done. So now we're just like, you know, polishing up, you know, tightening the game, that kind of thing. But I really wanted their art. So I'm like, look, I don't usually do this, but how about I just license the art from you guys? I'll pay you guys a license fee. You guys get the art in the game, you get credited in the game as well. And it's not exclusive, meaning you can still use the art elsewhere. It's just your art is featured here and you'll be paid and all of that. And they were like, this never usually happens, but we love this game and we love the vibe of the game and we know what you can do with the art. So absolutely, yeah, and they licensed it to me. And I just picked a couple of them from their portfolio. We agreed on a license fee, and away we are. So yeah, Louise and Amy. So what we should do is, when you play this game, go to the credits and look out for Louise and Amy, and you'll see their surnames and their social media handles. Go check their Instagram out. These guys are like amazing. Two wonderful, wonderful artists. I was privileged that they allowed me to license their art featuring the game. But look, I mean, it's super cool. And that's the thing, you know, when a game can bring a team together, or a game at an early stage can inspire people to come on the game, that's something special from a developer's point of view. You know, there's one thing getting gamers to play your game, of course, and streamers and so on, but yeah, get other people that want to be part of your game, that want to, you know, contribute to your game. That's awesome. I love that. You know, that in a sense is such a great feeling. Ooh, we've got flying bees. Flying bees. So you can see here, like the floating islands. Obviously, I was inspired by Avatar, which is a cool movie. But yeah, you've got a flying duck there. So bonkers. Crying raccoon. Meow meow meow. We've got dragons. I've spotted the dragon there. Ah. What's really cool is you can also adjust the sound. So for levels like this, you can actually reduce the music and just have the Atmos playing, and it's really nice. It's like a whole different experience playing the game. So that's what's really cool, is that yes, the game only has like 9-10 levels, and you can probably do it in an hour, 2 hours. But the replayability is really cool because you can experience it in such different ways by adjusting settings and you know, playing co-op and so on. It's got a lot of replayability. I thought that's important to make something small, but something that had replayability and that was memorable, as opposed to making a really long game that you're just done with and you just put away and never play again. It's not the sort of games I'm really interested in making. I want to make games that kind of last, but also are memorable. And also, kind of want to talk about it with your friends and your family and get them to play the game. And say, have you seen this bonkers game? There's freaking flying ducks with freaking lasers, panda riding a mech, you know, that kind of thing. That's the kind of conversations I loved to hear when I was at school as a kid. Another good track. You know, it's a cat in the background there, sleeping. That's what cats do, they sleep, apart from this one. This one's just out there blasting things. Oh, come on, Birdie, I gotta take you down. As we get towards the end of the level, if you haven't destroyed the bird, then it's game over for you. Spinning kick, please. Oh, I think I missed it. The thing about these special moves, you've got to time them. You've got to time them perfectly as it gets in the center. Then there you go. See, you unleash it. So as soon as the enemies, or as many enemies get in the middle of the screen, trigger your power up. Because you're going to keep building them up anyway. The more you shoot, the more things you destroy. Okay, we're getting to the end now. I've got to destroy this thing. Oh no, I'm not going to make it, am I? No! There's that thing. Yeah. So what happens is, with a lot of the bosses that are moving levels, if you get to the end and you haven't destroyed it, this big massive orb appears and takes you out. And you have to fight the boss again. Boo-hoo. Alright. Alright, I'm going to do this, guys. I'm going to do this. I'm going to focus. Alright, Meow Duke in this birdie. Oh, I've just taken the calm, relaxed nature of this game and turned it into an intense moment now. And it's cool, it's like kind of like a roller coaster ride, right? Like, you have the moments of like calm, and now you're in intensity, and then you're going back calm again, and it's a roller coaster. I learned that from working in movies as a director, as a writer. You know, you have your 3-act structure, right? You're building that story up, but it's also a roller coaster ride, especially with action movies as well. So I kind of have that sensibility when I'm making games to make sure there's an up. It goes up, down, it's a roller coaster. It's never one straight line. Although I'm making a shmup, it's literally a linear thing. But in terms of tone and experience. Wow, did I make this boss intentionally really hard? I mean, to be fair, I hadn't played this boss level in a while, so maybe I should tone it down. Come on. Oh no. I feel like I'm coming to the end and I haven't destroyed the boss yet. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do it, guys. It's coming to the end. There's the orb. The orb of death. Right. Okay. Well, we're running out of time, so I'm just gonna go back. I'm gonna quickly go through some of the other stuff in this game. One of the cool things I do love is that I can adjust the audio. So you go down, you reduce the music, and just have things like the general atmos. It's a whole different thing. Or you can just do the perfect mix, which I know. What else is there? Let's go back to let's exit the menu. So one of the cool things that I have been doing is by having this here. Everyone talks about the music. Everyone loves the music. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you can go buy the soundtrack, sure. But if you've got the game, and you just want to have your Steam Deck or your PC running in the background, you can just run through the playlist like this. Arrival. Play all the tracks, just like a CD player. It's a nice little touch, right? Because I can just have that in the background and play. And it's cool. Yeah, I've always wanted to do that. You know, ever since the PlayStation 1 days, where you can take the PlayStation 1 disc, some of them anyway, like Wipeout or Alien Isolation, or even Gran Turismo as well, and stick it in the CD player and it'll play the tracks because it's on the CD medium and the audio tracks will pick up. And I thought, I kind of want to bring that back. So yeah, it's another reference there. Yeah, and essentially this is it. So this is a much later build. One thing I am going to show off, a little sneak peek. For those of you who made it to the end of the stream, this is the version we're going to be uploading very soon, like in a day or two. We've got different languages. So we've got Japanese, which is cool. So like to be able to see the game in Japanese is pretty cool. Look at that. Oh my god. It's like buying an imported Super Famicom game back in the day and you just see it all in Japanese. This is sick, right? So cool. So yeah, so we've got it in Japanese. We've got it in Portuguese, Spanish, which is very cool. So I have a lot of friends in Brazil that love shmups, so this is for them. Yep. So now we've got it in Spanish, which is very cool. Oops. It's cool, right? I love this. It just makes it feel more international, meaning that, you know, everyone in the world can play this game and experience it in their own way. I love that. I love that a lot. Cool. Yeah. Right, well that's it, guys. Lastly, there is a Kickstarter running. You can see there the floating cartridge. So go to the Kickstarter page. You go to Kickstarter, type in Astro Burn, you'll see we have like, I think 6 more days left. We're already funded. We're 130% funded already. But hey, anyone that can help get this even further, please do. Always appreciated. But until then, please head over to Steam, play the game, buy it on early access right now. It's really cheap. Get it. Be part of the community and helping me shape this game with my team. And thank you so much for watching the stream and hope to see you at the community on Discord. Bye.